Right, the three teams, what Bristol City fans would like to see relegated from the Premier League would be Leicester, Southampton, and Everton.
Are Bristol City dark horses for the playoffs this season? That's the question we're posing to our Robins fans on Where Robins Walk. It's match day 3 and Coventry City are back in town.
I am the silent drinker. I'm racing all over the day. I am the silent drinker. You know we troubles away.
Welcome back to Where Robins Walk, Sam and Liam. We have got lots to talk about this week. We've got lots of goals to talk about as well. We're going to review, if we can, the Millwall game. We'll talk about the revisit of Coventry City. We're also going to have a chat about central defenders, and we're also going to talk to you about your Premier League manifestations as well. Who'd you love to see going the other way, as it possibly could be, as Bristol City march on to another their first 3 points of the season, but another improved performance. Welcome back, Sam and Liam, to the fastest Bristol City review on the internet. Sam, you enjoyed that one, by the looks of it.
Oh, it was absolutely brilliant. It was nail biting. I've got no fingernails left, but it was a brilliant result yesterday.
We'll come on to the goals in a second. But Liam, who impressed you the most?
Well, unfortunately for me, I couldn't make it because I was working, but that Twitter feed was getting refreshed continuously. Everything I've been seeing, though, it's got to be Max Bird again. He sounds like he had an absolute cred from the highlights I've seen as well. He's centre of everything. Absolutely brilliant.
Max Bird, I'll jump in. Max Bird was absolutely immense yesterday. He controlled the game from midfield.
The goals, Sam, I mean, some of the Millwall defending was questionable, but by goodness, you can spring an attack quickly these days, can't you? Is this the Manning system that we're going to get used to now? Quick on the counter.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, with Sinclair Armstrong up front, the pace and strength he's got. I mean, first half he terrorised the Millwall defence. Obviously, for that 19-minute period at the start of the second half, we looked a different side, but bringing Farley on, I still can't wait to see the two play together, to be fair.
Is that going to happen, though? He likes his one up front, doesn't he?
Yeah, but I would chuck the two up front. They would terrorise any defence in the country.
Okay. When it went to 2-2 and 3-2, Liam, what were you thinking genuinely?
If I'm completely honest, same old City, 2-0 up, coasting. Then I saw it went 2-1, then 2-2, then 3-2. I thought, oh God, City are back. So yeah, no, not good things were going through my mind. Put it that way. Yeah.
Any qualms with the refereeing decisions for those 3 goals there, Sam?
With the penalty, I mean, that was never a penalty, but fair play to him. He's come out after the game and he's apologised and said he just went with instinct. It looked a penalty, but I mean, it hit him in the chest and it was never a handball. But then I suppose it comes in roundabouts. You look at the penalty decision against Huddersfield last season, it swings around, doesn't it?
Yeah, you definitely got away with one. There. And of course, Mr. Twine, who you got back this week, comes up with the goods.
Yeah, it was written in the stars, wasn't it? It was written in the stars. We've been dying for him all summer, and he signs and gets a winner.
It'd be remiss of us not to mention the other news from this week. So we'll come on to talk about Conway finally leaving the club this week. But also you've got Earth, haven't you, on loan from West Ham? I believe he made a cameo in that second half. Sam, you saw him. How did he do?
Yeah, he looked pretty tidy on the ball, composed. I mean, he didn't have a long time on the pitch, but speaking to a lot of West Ham fans, they rate him really highly, and I think we could be lucky to have him.
Yeah, Millwall fans weren't obviously happy to see him when when he came on. Then,
to be fair,
yeah.
I would have loved him to get the winner and give it the Irons in front of the Millwall fans, but.
Yeah. So, are you dark horses, Liam, for the playoffs? Have you? I know it's teams, but it's all right to get excited, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't want to get too carried away. I'd rather us just be on the periphery, not be talked about, just go about our own business the way we want to do it and not worry about noise around us. I think going on past seasons, I think when noise does happen about us, that's when we just go to pieces and just fall straight down the table. So yeah, I'd like to say yes, but I just want to stay quiet on it, game by game, just go about doing our own thing. But yeah, we are.
Okay. Wow. I've got to ask you then about the big news. The big news coming out of the club this week was that Tommy Conway has now. We knew it was going to happen, but has now left and joined Middlesbrough. Sam, obviously you've spoken to the player. He's you've held him as being a good lad in the past. What's your final reflections on the biggest transfer story of the summer for City?
Yeah, I mean, I loved him to bits as a City player. To be fair, like I said in the past, he's done a lot for me, especially my daughter. He's been a brilliant lad. But he come out, said he didn't want to stay at the club, and he burnt his bridges kind of then. But it's a shame to see him go. But ultimately, we let him go, and we got Twine coming in. So,
yeah, will you be applauding him when the Borough visit later this season? Then,
no.
Well, I don't. It's the thing when he said he didn't want to play for the club no more. That's what done it for me. To be fair.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Fair enough then. Carabao Cup, of course, we also need to quickly mention that. And as a cruel twist of fate, your opponents this weekend then are the same team that knocked you out of the cup. Liam, any complaints about that result?
No, not really. I mean, looking at the lineup to begin with, we made 7 changes to the starting 11. I can't honestly remember the last time we were able to do that. First half, we had a lot of chances. We were on top of the first half. In fact, I can't really remember Coventry causing any sort of problems at all. Half time came, he took Knight off, which I can understand because the amount of minutes he plays. As soon as Knight went off, the energy in midfield it was non-existent. They made 5 changes, grew into the game, and lo and behold, 1 chance, 1 goal. Not overly bothered by it. Put it right this weekend. Get 3 points against them this weekend. Fingers crossed.
Okay. All right, let's chat to our Coventry City fan and find out whether that will have any on the game in match day 3. Welcome, Claudio, from West Sky Blues Walk. Fellow, okay?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
We're just chatting then about the Carabao Cup result. Will it have any bearing on the game this weekend?
None at all. Absolutely none at all. I hope not, because the first half was shocking in that game. So, yeah. So it shouldn't have any bearing whatsoever. I wouldn't have thought so.
You're coming to Ashton Gate at the wrong time, aren't you?
Well, it's too early, isn't it? I mean, if you go on our first game of the season, then yes. If you go on our performance against Oxford, then I think we'll be okay. But it's just so early, isn't it, in the season to actually predict anything and how it's going to be. I'm just happy that with only 2 matches gone, we're only 3 points off the top. I think that's a great start.
That last away game at Stoke, I think, was a head scratcher. What does he need to do differently in this next away game than what you didn't see at Stoke?
Well, what you saw at Bristol in the first half of that Carabao Cup, I know it was 2 B teams against each other to start with, but what you saw was a hangover from the Stoke game where we didn't really go forward. We just decided to play deep. It was we gave a lot of possession away. Bristol on top, But then the second half, you saw I thought the real Coventry when he made the 5 changes, when he brought on, 5 players that could change a game basically. And when he made the changes, I thought, hey, he wants to win this game, because that just seems like he's never done that ever. We've never ever done that in any game before. And Mark Robins rarely makes changes, and for a change, it was a positive change. And for those 3 or 4 minutes, it worked because we scored a goal, didn't we? But I think that's the real Coventry. So if the real Coventry turn up, it's going to be a good game. If the Coventry of we like to sit back and don't do a lot, we're going to have a bit of a problem, because they've got a big unit up front, haven't they, Bristol? I think, did he score yesterday? And he came on in that Carabao Cup match, didn't he? And
Armstrong.
yeah, he was.
Sinclair Armstrong.
Yeah,
Yeah,
both
of them scored as well. Mayulu, he scored yesterday as well.
And they look a handful. So, and our issue is defensively at the minute, because, we can score goals if we go forward, obviously. But defensively, we're all over the place at the minute.
Sam, who then starts for you then out of those 2 that you've mentioned already? I mean, Fally's on fire, isn't he? 2 and 2.
Surely 2 and 2. But I mean, take nothing away from Sinclair Armstrong. Away at Hull, he was absolutely brilliant. He runs his socks off. He's big, physical. He terrorises defence. And the Millwall game yesterday, done exactly the same. Got his first goal for the club. As I said before, I'd go with the 2 up top and play the 2. They would terrorise anybody.
Okay, Liam, would you risk that?
I can't see it happening personally. I think they're too similar. The only difference is I think Sinclair's got the pace, just a bit more pace to run in behind. What I would like to see though, Sykes hasn't had a good start to the season, so maybe Sinclair to play off the right, come off the right, terrorise the left back, put Fally down the middle. Then he has the freedom then to roll into the centre, maybe interchange a little bit. Whether we'll see that, it's a different story. But I think that's what I'd like to see.
Okay, and in terms of Coventry, where do you both see Coventry finishing this season, Sam?
They're definitely a top 6 side. I mean, the investments what they made, and when you got Ellis Sims up front as well. I mean, he started slow last season, but then he was on fire towards the end of the season. They got to be a top 6 side, really.
Okay, Liam.
Yeah, I see him challenging for playoffs. They always have that sort of mid-season lull where they go quiet for a few games, and then it's a bit like Man City in the Premier League. They sort of hit the gear at the right time and push themselves up. So I can see him pushing for the top 6 definitely.
Okay, you took 4 points off them last season. They didn't beat you. Claudio, you score prediction this time around? First of all, do you see Bristol City as a threat to your playoff ambitions?
Well, yeah. I mean, I can see anybody they're all threats, aren't they? I watched the Sunderland Sheffield Wednesday game today, and it just makes a mockery of the division at times, doesn't it? Because you see 2 teams. I mean, Sheffield Wednesday looked great last week. They look absolutely rubbish this week. It's just like that, isn't it? So yeah, everybody's a threat. It's so early, isn't it? If you ask me this at Christmas, I might give you a different answer, but at the minute, no, is the answer. But no, I'm confident we can get into that top 6. Whether Bristol City's going to be in there, I don't know. I mean, it'd be incredible for them because they're probably not expecting it. So I would like to think they wouldn't be a threat, but who knows? We've spent a lot of money the last 2 seasons, so we should be aspiring to get into that top 6. That's what the chairman's spending. Well, the owner's spending the money for, and it'd be interesting to see what happens 3/4 of the way into the season if we're nowhere near it.
Interesting indeed. Let's get some score predictions then. Liam, you can have this one.
I'm going to say 2-1. 2-1 City.
Ooh, nice one. Claudio?
I'm going to go for a high-scoring draw. 2-2.
Right, thanks, Claudio, for joining us. Good luck for the rest of the season. Really appreciate it. Enjoy the game at Ashton Gate. And Coventry fans always travel in good numbers, and I'm sure you'll be some of the loudest fans that are seen there, as you usually are at most grounds this season. We will catch up with you later. Thank you very much. And for you guys, let's rate some takes. Rick Williams says, best game I've seen at Ashton Gate for a very long time. Our team is going to push all the way this season. Mayulu is an international quality striker. All the subs had a major say in the result, but our forwards were what we will need to make an assault on the Premiership. Sam, they're getting a bit carried away, some of these Bristol City fans, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. But I agree with as one of the best games I've ever seen at Ashton Gate for a long time. But yeah, our forwards, they're looking really good. And all, like you said, all the subs. When you look at our bench, I think Neil Harris came out yesterday and he said that's the difference between Millwall and Bristol City, the strength on the bench.
And then Liam, this one, we've got some serious ball players now. Bird was superb and man of the match for me, which is what you said earlier. Twine, Earthy's coming looks a proper player. Both number 9s are a handful. Not sure I want starting. Fair play to SL. Been a huge critic of him, but he's back to LM this summer. Do you go along with that last point that, there have been some critics, but actually, that's gone a bit silent?
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot. You see a lot of mumblings around Steve Lansdown on Twitter. I personally don't think we'd be where we are without him. So I'm not one of the ones that seem to have a bit of criticism towards him. But yeah, he's definitely let the club spend a little bit this summer. I think it's probably the most we've spent for quite a while. But yeah, definitely.
Last week we reviewed your goalkeepers. Let's this time have a look at your centre backs. Now, forgive me here, but this is up to date as 7 days ago on transfermarket.com. Are Bristol City done in the shopping basket for this area? So how strong are you, do you think, in this particular area? And who are your best partnership for this season?
I mean, yeah, I think centre-backs were fine. Although Viner's looked a little bit off the pace in the last 2 games, but it's a long season, isn't it? And personally, I can't wait to see Rob Dickey and Rob Atkinson as a partnership at the back. All right, they haven't got the pace, but no one's winning any high balls against them.
Yeah, absolutely. Liam, what's the best partnership in this quartet?
A tried and tested one has got to be Viner and Dickey. I'm going to go the other way with Sam. I think we need to strengthen at the back. Atkinson, I think he's injured again, isn't he, at the moment? Or am I wrong on that? I could be wrong on that, Sam, but I think he was injured. And Naismith, he hasn't played since November. So his injury record since signing for us has not been brilliant. So I think if one of them, either Viner or Dickey get injured, I think we're in a bit of trouble at the moment. I know Roberts can slip in there, but he seems to be a bit of a backup at left back at the moment. So if it was me personally, I'd be looking at another one at least at the back. That's, I think, out of the squad as a whole, that's the area I'd be looking at. Okay.
All right. Thank you very much for that one. Next week we're going to look at right backs. So we'll get through all of these and left backs as well. Thank you very much for that one. Finally, then we're going into added time, and this week the Premier League is back. So all our questions are focused on the return of supposedly the world's best league. Second best league in my view. Here's added time. Okay, 60 seconds. All the questions are Premier League based. Here we go. Sam, who is going to win the Premier League?
Liverpool.
Liam, who's going down?
I think Leicester.
And?
I'm going to go Everton and Saints as well.
Okay. Sam, if you were promoted to the Premier League this season, which 2 other teams would you love to take with you?
Probably Coventry, because I've got a little soft spot for Coventry. And, I don't know, Millwall. Take Millwall to the Premier League.
VAR has been a constant issue in the Premier League. Liam, would you like to see VAR in the Championship?
Absolutely not. No way. I can live with the human error every now and again.
And Sam, Premier League or Championship for you?
Championship. Best league in the world, Championship.
Absolutely. Anyone can beat anyone, as has been proven already this in the last 2 days. Thank you very much. Next week, of course, we're going to review the Coventry game with you, and then we've got an international break coming up, which might just kill Bristol City's momentum. But I'm excited about this. This is looking good. I've seen all your goals back, and yeah, I think you've played 2 poor teams defensively so far. I will just caveat that and say I think Hull and Millwall are going to be towards the bottom of the league in terms of the defending I've seen. But well done, keep it going. I suppose this is the biggest test for you, isn't it? Coventry this weekend.
Definitely.
So far.
So far. All right, thank you very much for joining us on Where Robins Walk. Please press the subscribe button if you haven't done already. These 2 and guests are joining us all throughout the 46-game championship season. We'll see where Robins finish at the end of the year. It's definitely not going to be 12th, isn't it? Though let's be certain on that. It's going to be higher than 12. Cheers, Sam. Cheers, Liam. We'll catch you next week.
All right,
Cheers,
take care, everyone.
Cheers.